Hello and welcome to the Blind Angler. Today you find me in Mrs. Blind Angler's kitchen and I'm going to show you how I fillet and debone a fish. Now a few things that you need. First of all is a good sturdy chopping board. Very lucky to use my wife's. Normally I have to use a little plastic white thing that you get from like the pound shop and so on, so this is a privilege, but it's for video so she's allowed me to use hers. So a good chopping board, a plate to put your fillets on, a bag for the waste, and two knives, two good sharp knives, one being your fillet knife and one being just a standard knife. Okay, so the fish we've got today is a whiting, nice size whiting caught when myself and Matthew went fishing at B Sands at the weekend, and if you haven't checked out that video, please do so. It's a good watch and plenty of fish. Okay, so first of all, the first cut that I'm going to do, now I'm going to show you this how I do it as a blind person, and I have been lucky enough to be taught by a professional fishmonger, which was Flick, Matt's wife, and hopefully she will feature on a few other videos like this, but unfortunately due to lockdown she couldn't be here today, but we've got a few other different cuts of fish that we can show you. Okay, so first of all you got the fish, and the first cut needs to remove the head, and what you do is just find the gill. So what I do is I use my fingers just to find where the gill is, which is just here, which is, if you are visually impaired and you're not a fisherman but you buy fish from the fishmongers and you want to know how to do this, it's literally just by where the first fin is, and the knife goes into the gill, and then you straighten it up, so you chop straight down to the chopping board. Now, due to my eyesight, I always need assistance with this, so my wife's here, so is that straight, the knife straight? And what you do is you just slide, let the knife do the work, and cut down the fish. Thank you. Until you hit the backbone. There we go, and that's the head removed. So I'll just pop that into the bag. Now, I'm putting that into a sandwich bag, and I'll explain why later. So that's the head removed. Next thing I'm going to do is the knife that I used, put it to one side, because I don't need that knife anymore, and I will find my fillet knife. And just put it to one side so I know where it is, keeping the blade away from me for safety. Okay, so you position what I like to do is position the fish on the chopping board, and just imagine like a clock, if you will. So the tail is at 12 o'clock, and where the head section was is at 6 o'clock. Now what you do then is you get your fillet knife, and with your, I mean I'm right-handed, so this might be different if you're left-handed, but if you use your thumb with your left hand, just feel where the backbone is, and what you want to do is slide the knife up, so the point of the knife is sliding up the backbone up towards 12 o'clock. Now be very careful, obviously the fish are slippery and normally wet, so just find where the bone is with the knife and just slide it all the way up. Try and follow that backbone. Without piercing the fish. I have now my cat right by my feet. You're not having any, Shimano. All you fishermen out there, if you just heard me call my cat Shimano, that's right, I have called my cat after my fishing reel. Okay, so now the blade is in, what we do is we now take it towards 3 o'clock, the knife towards 3 o'clock, and you'll feel the knife go over the rib cage. So keep as close to the bones as you can, but be very careful because it is a sharp knife. So just gently cut towards 3 o'clock, nice and soft. I put my hand on top of the fish just to keep it down, but just be careful because fillet knives are usually very sharp indeed, and just gently cut, letting the knife do the work. You can feel those bones. Okay, I'll just come to there. Bless. And out comes the knife. So at this point I'll just recap that we've got the fish on the chopping board, tail at 12 o'clock, head section at 6 o'clock. We've slid the knife up and with the point of the knife facing towards 12 o'clock, and we've gently used the knife in a cutting motion over the rib cage and out towards 3 o'clock. Okay, so just to recap, what we've done is we've positioned the fish on the chopping board, tail at 12 o'clock, head section at 6 o'clock. We've slid the knife up with the point going up towards the tail, and then used the blade to cut slowly towards 3 o'clock, going up and over the rib cage. Now what we do is we take the piece of meat that we've just cut, we put the knife in, this time with the blade pointing towards 12 o'clock, and we gently cut up the backbone. Nice and slowly. Follow that backbone. All the way up to where the tail is. Careful again with your hands. Use your hands to feel. If you can't feel, just see where the tail is. Trying to get as much meat as you can. And then you'll find that you release fillet number 1 with no bones. Okay. Okay, so that's that. Then what you do, once you've put that fillet on the plate, turn the fish over. So again, the tail section is at 12 o'clock. At this point, if there are like little fins that you want to take off, you don't have to, but if you want to take the fins off, this is the time to do it. I mean, you can do it afterwards, but to be fair, it's usually easier to do it now. Like so, just put that in the waste. And right, again, you kind of repeat the process. This time it's a little bit more difficult because you haven't got such a body of fish that you're working with. But again, tail's at 12 o'clock, and I'm going to slide the knife up the backbone. This time the blade of the knife will be pointing towards 9 o'clock rather than 3. Okay, so once you've slid that in, okay, so once we've done that, so as I said, we've slid the knife up and we've brought it towards 3 o'clock. Now, again, as before, we get the bit where we've cut, put the knife into the fish with the blade pointing towards 12 o'clock, your hand on top, and again gently remove the fillet, running up the backbone. All the way up to the tail, trying to get as much meat as you can. Like so.
grams of self-raising flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of vegetable oil, 100 ml of cold water. Mix well until there are no lumps. Coat fish in butter and put in deep fat fryer. Cook for 4 to 6 minutes until golden brown.